Hi there everybody, it's UK independent Stampin' Up demonstrator Halsey here from SlimmandStylish.com. Thank you ever so much for joining me today for another product preview. I am previewing for every day up until the 5th of January a product from either the mini catalogue or the new celebration catalogue that goes live on the 5th. And today I'm going to be previewing the Simply Succulents Cling Stamp Set. I love this stamp set. As soon as I saw it and it was available for pre-order, it was the first thing on the top of my list because I love blending and I couldn't wait to get my blends onto these flowers here. These are the cards I've made today. I've made two completely different ones using the exact same stamp set, the exact same layout and the exact same paper. So the paper is from the Dragonfly Garden suite. Here, the one side of it is all misty moonlights and crushed curry, and this is my side of the paper that I like. The other side is all dragonflies and bright colours and greens and rich raspberries and calypso corals, which are all lovely, but this is the side that I have fell in love with. So that's the side that I've used today. So I'm going to show you how to put this together, and I am just going to mention that this cling stamp set also includes some dies, and the dies have a really nice stencil die in as well as dies that go all the way around these, and if you buy the dies and the stamps together you get 10% off. And as I said, they're available from the 5th of January, and you can purchase any items from the new mini catalogue, the annual catalogue, and earn celebration items through my website, which is just down here. So let's get started. First of all, you're going to need some scrap Whisper White because we have got a little bit of stamping and a little bit of blending going on. And I realise that's a very big piece actually. I'm sure I've got a smaller piece of Whisper White somewhere. So let me just grab one of those from the side of my desk. There we go. So I'm going to pop these onto a block first. I've already took them out, put the cling mount on them, so that's on the back. It shows you the lovely pattern and it's nice and tacky, so it will stick to the blocks. So I've got that. I also want the pot, and you know what, for me personally I've never found it an issue, but when I actually do classes I know some people who do. So I'm very happy about having this circle out here, and I'll explain why. When I used to do my classes back in a time pre-COVID, some of the ladies used to stamp very heavy onto the ink block. No problem if you are a heavy stamper, but sometimes on stamps like this where you had a big negative space that you weren't stamping on, the ink would get in there, and then when they stamped it down it would mess up the flower pot. So I think that's why Stampin' Up, I don't know that's why they've stopped or they've took a chunk out, but I know that if I was still doing my classes now it would really help some of the ladies, so I was quite glad to see that that had happened. Okay. So the sentiment I've picked out is you make the ordinary extraordinary. I've also got the little flower, this one, the pot, and the big one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp this down once, twice, and I'm just going to leave this one to the side and come back to that at the end of the card. So what you want to do is you want to make sure it is inked up lovely. For this, if I've got a big stamp, i.e. the stamp is bigger than the ink pad, I will stamp this way around, whereas I take the ink pad to the stamp, and then I can make sure and I can see on all the lines that I have managed to cover all of it. Leave a little gap around the edge because obviously you're going to want to run it through the die cut machine. By the way, also available on the 5th of January from this website down the bottom here is the new Stampin' Mini Cut and Emboss machine, which is very exciting. Very, very exciting. And if you get that, you can obviously get celebration sets as well, because if you spend over £45, you're eligible for a celebration set. So one of those and two of these. So as you'll notice, for the smaller stamps I'm taking that to the ink pad because I know that's going to be covered by stamping in the middle, so we're all good. 2 of those. Okay, I'm going to pop my lid on and do my blending first. So let me get out my blends. I know I did these in 2 different colours and 2 different styles. I'm actually going to recreate this one. I did a poll over on my Instagram to see who liked which one best, and lots of people said they liked this one, and truthfully it's my favourite too. So this is the one I'm going to be doing today. So for the I'm going with this for the bucket, there we go. Sometimes honestly I do question. I have got light balmy blue, I have got dark balmy blue, and I have also got dark Seaside Spray, which is just a slightly warmer tone. So for this one, I'm going to come over with the dark balmy blue first, and I'm going to run it across there like that, all the way down the side. I'm going to be going over this, so it's not precious. I just want to get the colour away from the edge. When I'm blending, I do like to go around the edges of things first, so that if I get a bit too venomous, I'm not that close to the edge and I'm not going to accidentally go over the lines. So then this is the light balmy blue, which I'm going to do exactly the same over this side, all the way around the edge. Okay, now we've done the edges, we can properly play. So dark Seaside Spray, and I'm going to be using the brush tip. I'm going to go over what we've just done with the balmy blue, not all the way to the edge, but pretty much. Okay. I'm just doing this in straight lines. So I've gone straight line over here and then straight line to here, so you can see it's a little bit darker on that second straight line than it is on the first one, and I'm going to do a third. So now I've got 3 gradients of the same colour. I'm then going to use the dark balmy blue, and I'm going to go over the Seaside Spray, and I'm just going to push it out a little bit further. Okay, so hopefully you can see I'm starting to get that sort of denim colour tone. And then finally light balmy blue, and I'm going to go over both of them all the way to that edge. And then when I've gone over them, I'm just going to actually I'm going to do it with the bullet tip, because I don't know whether you can hear my balmy blue appears to be running out. So I'm just blending lots over that line to make sure that it graduates from one colour to the other rather than having a stark line. So if you think your blends are running out, you will obviously have to order new. You can't top up the alcohol blends, but it's not all lost, and it really isn't. You can then turn it round and use the bullet tip. So this end here will get you a lot more colour onto your project straight away, whereas the bullet end sort of conserves the colour. So I find that when the blends are looking to run out, the bullet tip normally lasts for a lot longer than the brush tip. Okay, there you are. So there is my bucket all done. I am going to keep these colours out, although Balmy Blue might hate me for it, because both of these two little flowers and this one here are done with those colours. So you want dark Balmy Blue. I haven't done much shading on this. All I've done is gone around one edge of the flower, like that. And then I've also done this one over here. One edge of the flower. And you also want to do this one, but I'm not going to waste your time by making you sit and watch me blend for ages. I'm going to show you how to do each individual one, and then I will pause the video and come back when I've coloured them all in for you, so that I'm showing you how to colour each one, but not making you sit through hours of me doing it. So there we go. And that's all I've done with the one on here. I haven't used the Seaside Spray, it's just the Balmy Blue. And the same with this one. Very simple, very easy, this bit. And we all know what's going on my list next time I go shopping. Balmy Blue. There we go. All right. So the next ones I'm going to show you is these ones down here. For those I have used Shaded Spruce, Light and Dark. So for the dark, I have just come along with a bullet tip and just put some little dots on each petal. No rhyme or reason, I've just done it to create some texture, so it doesn't matter which way around it goes on the actual leaf, just so long as there is a little bit on there. And over this side. And then over with the light. And with a light, I'm just going to be a bit more precise. So I want to make sure that each leaf is coloured properly. Okay, and just keep colouring all of them in. Like that. I'll finish those two off on pause, but that's how you want to do that little section there. Okay, for these two here, these are purples, so you want to use light Highland Heather, dark purple posy and light purple posy. Okay, so with the with the light Highland Heather, you want to do the center part of each flower. And once you've done it once, you want to go over it again and build the colour up. Like that. Over the colour again. I realised I said you wanted to go over the colour again, but then actually didn't do it, so bad me. Okay. Then with the light purple posy, so this is the lightest of the colours, you want to just get a little bit onto the edge of each one. Doesn't matter about joining up, just make sure you cover the tips. Okay. And then once you've done that, you want to use the dark purple posy to create the join between the two. So you can see I'm pushing the colour out, but I'm not going all the way to the tip. I'm just going part way. And at the moment it's got a big line around it. Don't worry about that, because that's going to go the more we keep putting the colour on. So once you've done each leaf like that, you want to come across where those lines are, and you want to circle from the dark into the light and drive that colour up and really blend it out. Okay. Keep driving the dark into the light. The alcohol will just spread. You can actually see it. It looks really magical when you do this. There are so many different ways that you can use alcohol markers to get the colour you want. But the thing to learn is you can't go wrong. Because so long as you keep going over the top, it will keep dispersing the colour again. So there's that one, and you want to also do it on that one, which I will do when the video is paused. These ones here, this uses a really nice colouring difference between light flirty flamingo, dark pool party, light soft sea foam, and light so saffron, and it goes in that colour outwards. Okay, so the tip of the flower is done in flirty flamingo, and you don't want much on, you just want to give it a slight bit on the tips of the flower, of the petals. Okay, then pool party, you want that in the middle, just like that on each one. You're not putting much on, you're just putting a little bit at the bottom of each petal. Okay, for the light so saffron, you want to go from the pool party to the flirty flamingo. And I know this looks a bit garish at the moment, there's no blends going on with it, and you're like, well, what are you doing? It just looks like three colours one after another. That's where the magic soft sea foam is going to come in, and you go over the whole leaf. Okay, so you can either do it with a bullet tip like that, or you can grab and drag it with the brush tip, and you want to go over each part of it until it's blended in quite nicely together. You don't want any harsh lines. Okay, and hopefully you can see. That's changing. If you wanted to have a slightly brighter tone, you could go over it with light mint macaron. That's the tone I've gone for with it. Okay, and that one is going to be the same as this one, which leaves us with this great big fun one here, which was great fun colouring. This is just like one that I have got in my porch downstairs, so I was very excited about this one. And you want to start off with dark rich raspberry, and like we did with the last one, you just want to pop it over the tip of each petal. You're not putting much on because you're going to be blending most of the colour out of it, but you do want to have that pronounced colour at the edge. And this is what I love about the blends so many times, because you buy them in colours dark and light. You use them with the dark and light colours they come with, but you don't play with other colours with them. And as I've just shown there, you can get colours that are completely different to blend really nicely together. So it's experimental, trial and error. Sometimes it will come out and you'll think that looks terrible. Other times it's like a little genius combination. Just keep playing. Okay. Once you've got that, very similar to what we did on this one with the light so saffron, just along the edges. You're not really going to see this when it's done, it's just going to create a tone underneath the leaf. One of my favourite tones at the moment, because I'm shooting this before Christmas and I've been playing with all my Christmas goodies, so you won't see it much with Mini on the celebration ones, but one of my favourite ones at the moment is Cinnamon Cider with Poppy Parade over the top. It creates a really, really nice burnt red colour. So try that one, that's a nice one. And it's light Cinnamon Cider with light Poppy Parade. Okay, so I get these look completely different at the moment, but they won't. You want to keep building the colour up. So I'm going to go with Mint Macaron, dark and light of the Mint Macaron. And I'm going to go on the inside of each of these like I did on the previous one. The only difference is I'm putting more Mint Macaron down than I did Pool Party. Okay, it's a bit hard sometimes to check if you've done all the petals, so just sit back once you've done it and just have a quick look and see if there's anywhere that's really sort of missing some colour, and if there is, just pop it over the top. Now the magic comes with the light Mint Macaron. So start in the middle with the brush tip and go out in circles. And just keep spreading the colour. It's not going to be completely blended by the time you finish because you've still got other colours to put on. But hopefully you can see now the tones have started merging in together. Light soft sea foam, we've already got it out. I'm going to be using the bullet tip and just going around the edges. And this is just going to take, hopefully you can see, I'm going over the rich raspberry, and that is just blending it in and stripping some of the colour out. It's leaving the tone underneath it. Hopefully you can see what that's doing. It's just taking the harshness away. Okay. One thing I will say with the blends as well is after you finish playing and you're sitting back just to double check whether you like it before you add any other colours on, is to give it a second. I don't know, give it a few minutes, because the blends, when they dry, if you keep putting alcohol over the top, it stays wet. That's fine, that's as to be expected, but when it dries, it will dry a different colour. You just really want to work over the top of the rich raspberry tips. I haven't done around this side. And you might think, well, what was the point of Halsey putting on the So Saffron underneath? There's a point. You can see it shine through. And I mean, on this one where it's all dry, you can see that So Saffron coming through. It's the light behind it. And you're going to see it even more in a minute when we get the colour lifter on. Oh, so I think I've got them all. I was talking and not really paying much attention to it. I'm just going to go over, get some more colour onto them. Okay. So now I'm going to bring out the colour lifter, which is magical. I love the Blends colour lifter. Okay. I'm using the brush tip and I'm just going to go over the edge of each of these petals and I'm just going to draw the colour out. And if you're new to colouring and you're watching, you're thinking, do you know what, it does look quite nice when it's finished, but that was a lot of effort. I do this of an evening. I find it really therapeutic and really relaxing to do. Okay, so try it. You might find it therapeutic too. I mean, lots of people do these adult colouring books now. And I'm a fan of those. I do like doing those, but I love watching the blends just go. I think it's really, really good fun. So I'm going to finish colouring this off. I'm going to run it through the die cut machine. I'm going to pop you on pause because I know you don't want to sit and watch me go any further. And I will join you in a few minutes. Okay, so I'm back. I've finished colouring in all the rest of the items and I've die cut them all out, so I'm all ready now to assemble them onto the card. So what you will need is a piece of base cardstock. So this is our thick Whisper White, cut in half and scored in half, and I have already scored it, so I'm just going to burnish it. Okay, I have also got a piece of Night of Navy cardstock. So this is 10 centimeters by 14.25 centimeters, and I have got the thin Whisper White, which is 9.5 centimeters by 13.85 centimeters. So I've just gone down half a centimeter each time, and if you're over in America, go down 1/4 inch each time. And I do have a piece of the DSP already cut. This is cut at 1 1/8 inch wide. I haven't done the top. I will chop that off afterwards. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop, I hope you can see, I've got a little bit of trim underneath just to give it a bit of glitter. So that is our metallic edge ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to pop this piece of paper onto the card where I know that I'm going to want it. So I'm going to want it there. I'm going to grab my tape runner. So I've just grabbed some snail at the moment, but seal will do exactly the same. I'm just going to move this slightly to the right, sorry, slightly to the left, and draw myself a little line down there so I can see exactly where I want it. And I'm going to line the ribbon up. And some scissors. I'm going to stick this down. Now, I have seen a few tutorials where people mount the ribbon underneath the paper and then cut it at the top. That's fine if you want to do that. The reason I don't is I don't like ribbon fraying, and I find that edges of ribbons start to fray. So if you have an edge on the end, it looks a mess, whereas if you tuck it over and stick it down, it hides that fraying edge. And then I'm just going to stick the DSP over, and you'll notice I have a slight little trim just there. Actually, it might be better if, because that DSP is going to be longer than my section, it might be better if I pop the glue to the card and pop the DSP then on there. Like that. Turn it over and just snip the paper off like that. Okay. I'm going to stick this directly onto the Night of Navy before we go much further. Okay, and I'm going to stick that onto the base cardstock so it's just all done. And there we go. Right, to build this up, you're going to need some dimensionals. Just going to grab a new pack of them. Okay, so you're going to want a couple. And you want to pop one on the very, very long piece. I found that's the best one to do it on. And pop that over the top like that. So you've got it in the sort of shape that you would like it. And you can then apply the dimensional underneath to make sure you've got a 3D bucket. Where I've put those dimensionals, they are tacky, so will stick to your card. So I'm just going to stick a dimensional underneath because I want the bucket to be up 1 and these flowers to be up 2. So that will be up 2. And then all I'm going to do is over by this purple one, because these two slot in. This purple one here has got nothing slotting in, so I don't mind popping 2 dimensionals there because I know it's not going to cause a problem. Pull those off and stick it on my card. Oh, bad Helen. Oh no, I put the dimensionals, I said I was going to stick it underneath the purple bit. I've stuck them under this purple bit over here. I'm just going to pull those off and they'll have lost their sticky, so I'm just going to do 2 more. I want it under this purple bit because this one's going to have these underneath. Daft Halsey that was, very daft. So I'm just going to stick my 2 dimensionals together, lift this up, put it under the correct one and stick it down. Okay, then for these, this one here has got 2 dimensionals underneath, so it is the same height as the card. And this one here has got 1 underneath, so it's sitting at the back on like a layer. So once you've done them and you've took the backings off, you can just slot them underneath where you would like them. So I'm going to pop 1 there and 1 about there. And you'll notice now that it's all layered at different layers. Okay, I'm going to pop a sentiment on. So I'm going to stick with "You make the ordinary extraordinary." I won't I won't put it on upside down though. I will turn it. You make the ordinary extraordinary. I love the fonts on here. I think they're lovely. And then I'm just going to trim it down. You can do this with your trimmer if you haven't got a steady hand for straight lines. I do not have a steady hand for straight lines, but I'm attempting it. See, I should have just got my trimmer. I really don't. I try and I think to myself, oh, that's looking really straight, and I get excited that it's looking straight, and then it's not straight. It's just Do that, you make the ordinary extraordinary. I'm not going to double these dimensionals up, I'm just going to pop them one on. Now I'm going to apologise straight away, I don't have any rhinestones, so I've put rhinestones on this one. I don't have any left, so I'm going to be using the Elegant Faceted Gems. I'm going to use the clear ones. I'm moving house and I do actually have lots of packs of rhinestones. They're something that I keep handy because I use them so much. But they are in my spares cupboard, and my spares cupboard has now got about 10 big boxes all full in front of it, and the rhinestones are sitting in there waving at me going, you can't get me. And they've caused me a bit of annoyance because I had used them in a few of my projects recently and I can't replicate them. But the faceted gems are just as nice, and on this one I have used the gilded gold gems. So there you go. This is using the Simply Succulents Cling Stamp Set and the coordinating dies. I hope you've enjoyed the project. I hope you've enjoyed today's project. All items that I have used on this video are available to purchase from my store www.slimandstylish.stampinup.net. Alternatively, if you would like a copy of our catalogues, please send me an email to slimandstylish@live.co.uk or leave me a comment below and I'll get in touch with you. I upload regular content to this channel, so if you do enjoy watching my tutorials, please make sure that you have subscribed and rang the bell to get notifications when new videos go live. Thank you for joining me and have a lovely day.